Hello, online ESL teachers. I'm Susan and welcome back to my channel. This is video number 2 of a 5-part series on upping your online ESL game. So whether you are already a teacher or you are in the application process, this series of videos is designed to help you be the best teacher you can be. This video is on classroom usage and expansion. Okay, so we are talking about the tools of the classroom. We are talking about your lesson material. We are talking about the content of your class. We are talking about your props and your rewards. And there are 6 items in the GOGOKID performance guide that you received when you applied to be a GOGOKID teacher that we're going to go through today. And I'm actually going to start with number 6 because I think this comes first. Number 6 is knowledge of the content. All of the other things I'm going to talk about really don't matter if you do not know the content of the lesson that you are teaching. Now, knowledge of the content is not a difficult thing to master because it is right there in your teacher portal. When you open your schedule, mark your schedule as available, and a student or a parent selects your class for their child, you will see in your upcoming classes the lesson content. So you can easily click on this. You can go through the class material. You can see what each slide looks like, and you can read the teacher tips for each slide. Now keep in mind, if you are scheduled to teach a trial class, these classes may change. Now, they may change overnight. If you prepare for the class and then you go to bed, you might wake up and have a different class booked in that time slot. Or when you are teaching the class, on your evaluation slide, you may determine that the assigned class is too easy for your student. So you might bump up 1 lesson, you might bump up 2 lessons. If the student's performance on the assessment slide lets you know that this class is maybe a little too difficult for the student, you may be moving down 1 lesson or maybe even 2 lessons. So if you are scheduled to teach a trial class, it is very important that you are familiar with all of the trial lessons. The way to get familiar with all of those trial lessons is to go to Freshdesk. They are all there for you. If you look at these trial lessons as they are on Freshdesk, you will not be able to see the animations, but you can download those slides onto your computer. And when you do that, the animations are available for you to preview. So make sure that you prepare those lessons, know the content of these trial classes. If it is not a trial class that you're teaching, if it's a core class, if it is an assessment class, or if it is a project class, you still need to be familiar with the content of the lesson. So make sure that you look through the slides before your class, whether it be the night before, whether it be the morning before. Give yourself plenty of time to gather the materials that you need and to think through what you are going to do during that class. Okay, so number 6 is knowledge of content. Number 5 is fulfilling the lesson objectives. So maybe you're not sure what the lesson objectives are. When you are teaching a core class, the last few slides of the lesson will be review slides. So as you are preparing, you will see in the review slides there are words and sentences. If your class is teaching phonics, you will have the letter that you are teaching along with the words the student will be practicing reading with these phonics. So you can very simply write these objectives down on a Post-it and put it on your computer so that as you are going through the class, you are making sure that you are hitting on those target words, those target sentences, and those target phonic sounds for the class. We have 25 to 28 minutes to complete these lesson objectives. So keep that in mind as you're teaching your class, that you do not want to overlook these. You do not want to leave them all to the very end and then try to cram them in. These should be spread throughout your lesson as you are teaching. For trial classes, the lesson objective is a little bit different. The goal for trial classes is that your student feels comfortable and gets used to being in an online environment. This may be their first time hearing English. This may be their first time seeing a foreign teacher. This may be their first time interacting with someone in this manner. So make sure that you are spending time helping them to relax, to feel confident in what they are supposed to be doing. This is so much more important than sticking to those teacher tips throughout the trial classes. This is your chance to have fun with your student while you're introducing them to a whole new world. Don't let that opportunity pass you by because you may be winning a core student. For the assessment classes, the objective is to test the student on their accumulated knowledge. For the project classes, the goal is to have the student complete a project and then also talk to you about what they have done. There are great workshops on teaching trial classes, on teaching project classes, on teaching assessment classes. So make sure that you take the time to attend those workshops so that you can be a well-rounded teacher who is ready to give your best to your students. Okay, number 4 is the use of the classroom tools. I will insert a video here introducing to you some of these classroom tools. So here in Classroom 2.0, you can see that the drawing tool is a great way to indicate what words you want a student to practice pronouncing. You can obviously also use it to draw on the screen. You can change colors by clicking on the drawing tool and selecting a different color there. You can see here that if you go to the upper left-hand corner of your screen and select Files, you can move to the whiteboard where anything that you have previously written will still be there unless you have hit the trash can to erase it. Here I use the filled circle to make that ornament down at the bottom. Go back to the PowerPoint by clicking in the Files at the upper left-hand corner, and here you will see that I can use the trash can to erase everything and then select the filled rectangle from the drop-down box. I love using the filled rectangle to create close sentences for the student to practice answering questions using complete sentences. I will cover a word and have them answer the question, and then cover another word and have the student answer the question, and continue on until the student is able to say the full sentence without the help of the written words. I can switch back to the drawing tool, select a different color, and write words on top of the filled rectangles that I have created on the screen. I love doing this as a help to the student, but I can also change the sentences this way as needed. Another way to change the sentence is to use the text tool. This tool is both in the Classroom 2.0 and Classroom 3.0. Here in 2.0, I can select from one of 3 fonts and click on the screen to type my answer or to type my word. Once I type the word, I can click outside of the box, and then I have the ability to move the box to wherever I would like that word to show up on the screen. When I click outside the box a second time, the student is able to see the word I have written. If you look at the classroom tools, they are here just above the PowerPoint, and you will see that there is a mouse tool. So we can click on the mouse tool so that we are able to activate the animations in the class. Your student will also be able to activate the animations in the class when you have the mouse tool selected. Now we have the pencil tool. When you have the pen selected, you are able to draw on the screen, and likewise your student is able to draw on the screen. We're going to jump over to the color tool to see that you can choose different colors for your drawing tool. Now let's back up to the text tool. If we click on this text function, we can type on the screen. And then once you click outside of that text box, you can drag it around, put it where you want it to be, click again, and then it will appear for your student on their side as well. For the eraser, Your student does not have an eraser in this new classroom. And once you click the eraser, you are not able to click and drag to erase lines in this classroom like you did in 2.0. We are just going to click on the line that we drew that we want erased, and it will erase the whole thing. Also, we have the trash can. So once you've drawn on the screen, if you want to erase everything at once, you can click on this trash can to clear the screen. Then all the way over to the right, you will see the pages. You are able to click left and right to reset or change the pages. You can type a number here to jump to a different slide. You will see here that you can click the animations.
Hi.
Hi. And if you want to reset the animations, you can do that by clicking the up arrow on your keypad. Your students' reward system will be located inside their video feed. You will see that there are gems to give your students. So the stars are going away with the Classroom 2.0, and our new reward system is gems. So you can give your child a gem. Make sure that you give them all 5 in addition to your secondary reward, whatever that may be. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Number 3 is extension and explanation of the content. Now, GOGOKID does not wish for the teachers to stick strictly to the teacher tips throughout the entire course and never work on building a relationship with a student. Never work on helping the student apply this knowledge outside of the course content. So it is important for us as teachers to make sure that we are extending the lesson as much as possible with our students. This is going to be based on our students' ability. If the content material is difficult for the student, you may not be able to extend that lesson and talk about other ways that we can use these words. However, if the student is comfortable with the material, shows a mastery of the vocabulary, is able to speak to you in full sentences, then it's a great opportunity to talk about other ways that they can use these words in their daily lives. You can ask the students some questions about the topic. If you're talking about transportation, traveling, you can ask your student, have you traveled? Where have you traveled? UK? America? Yes. I have traveled to America. So this is a great way to give your students other ways to use their knowledge base. When the content is too difficult for your student, maybe you're not quite ready to extend because you need to spend more time explaining. If your student is just repeating everything you say, it is quite possible that they just do not understand the course content. So we need to come up with new ways to explain this material to the student. We cannot solely depend on what is there in the platform that we are teaching from. This is where we are going to use our props and our TPR and our knowledge base and our understanding of our students to be able to help them understand what is meant by certain words or phrases or concepts. So make sure that you are taking time to explain the content to your students as well. Okay, so the reason I went backwards is because now we can talk about the use of props, which are a great way to explain the content to your student. And the rubric says the teacher should have some teaching aids and props that they can use in order to make the content more interactive and interesting. Okay, so what are some props that you can use? Many teachers will tell you, if you have watched any YouTube videos, they will say you must have a whiteboard. And yes, I love my whiteboard. And they'll say you must have a puppet. And yes, A puppet is a great tool to have. I love puppets that's mouths can open. This is a great way to model conversation. What is your name? My name is Gina. What is your name? My name is Gina. A microphone is another great prop to use so that you can indicate whose turn it is to speak. What is your name? My name is Gina. What is your name? My name is. Good job. So, some kind of props that you can use to indicate to the student when it is their turn to speak are wonderful. A whiteboard is wonderful. What I love most about these whiteboards is that they are magnetic. And so I can put my magnetic props right there on my whiteboard if I'm using it to demonstrate. Circle the dog. Circle. Circle. Yes. Something else I love is 2D props. You can see this is just cut out, it's laminated, and I use magnetic tape on the backs. So speaking of 2D props, most of my 2D props were cut out of workbooks that my children used when they were very young. Flipped through them, found pictures of animals, I found pictures of cars, I found pictures of people, all sorts of things, and I just cut them out, laminated them, and put stickers on the backs of them. Here I have all my 2D props up here on the wall next to me, so it's very easy for me to glance over and grab exactly what I need. But in addition to 2D props, as much as I love them, you need to also have some other props, some real props. I can show a student my 2D prop, a picture of a fork, all day long. It is a fork. It is a fork. But really, is this a fork? No. Really, this is a picture of a fork. It is not a fork. I cannot eat with this. It's a picture of a fork. So, in order to avoid confusion, I will also want to show my student fork. It is a fork. I have a plastic fork. I have a stainless steel fork. Oh, I also have a serving fork because all of these are forks. I'm going to show my student as many different types of an object as I can. And once I think they have it, I might even pull out a spoon. Is it a fork? Spoon. It is a spoon. It is a spoon. Good job. So, for colors, I'm going to show my student as many different examples of an item of this color as I can. So if we're teaching blue, 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 blue. It is blue. This is going to help the student not get confused that every time they see this, it is blue. Oh, look, it is blue. Oh, look, it is blue. No, it is blue. Well, in addition to using your props to help the student understand what you are teaching them, you can use these props to make your class more fun and interesting and interactive. It is blue. It is blue. It is blue. Ah! Oh. It is blue. As you're preparing for your lesson, make sure you're thinking through what types of props will help my student understand this material best, and have at least 2 in your GOGOKID classroom. And I would say even if you are teaching a younger student, the K levels or even level 1, I would have many, many props, more than 2. I personally do not think that 2 props is enough for these younger students to get all the material understanding that they need to get from these classes. Have a variety of options. And then finally, number 1 is reward systems. Okay, so this GOGOKID rubric says that you should make sure to give all 5 stars, or if you're in the brand new Classroom 3.0, all 5 gems in that classroom, and also give a secondary reward. So the rubric actually words it like, when you're done giving out the stars, then give a secondary reward. But I'm going to say that is not worded the way it should be. It should be you give all 5 stars and you give a secondary reward, and mine are overlapped. So I will give a star and a secondary reward, a gem and a secondary reward. And secondary rewards are a great way to continue to engage your student, to continue the learning process with your student. So today I had an assessment class and it was on shapes. So during this class on shapes, for the reward system, we drew shapes. So first I drew a square. That's not a square. First I drew a rectangle. What is it? It is a rectangle. Great job. And then I drew a semicircle. What is it? A semicircle. And then we added triangles. We added more rectangles. You can use many other shapes that are in the lesson. This is giving your student more opportunities to practice what they're learning, but is changing it up a little bit. So we're practicing in a fun and different way. And then we can try to guess as we're drawing the object, what is it? I love free rewards. This is a free reward system. I do have some reward systems that were purchased that I paid for, but I don't go to them quite as often as I go to my free reward systems that I have created for my student. If you can tie your reward systems into the content of the lesson, this is like a double whammy. High five. Way to go, teacher. You are doing an awesome job. Reward systems are another way to make a connection with your student. You can ask them questions. Do you like cats? Yes. Oh, you can make them laugh. You get a banana for the monkey. Nom, 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 nom. Thank you. Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Hello? Monkey, it's for you. Nom, 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 nom. Thank you. GOGOKID wants you to keep your reward system in your student's eye view. If having something in your backdrop does not work for you, another great idea, especially for your younger students, is to give them stickers. A spider! Ah! On your face. A spider! Ah! Whatever the sticker is, you can put it on your face and it is constantly in your student's view. Just don't forget to take your stickers off before you go to Target. Any way that you can help your student relax, they're going to be more willing to speak and participate during their class if they're able to laugh and have fun along the way. And that is going to be up to you as a teacher who is really upping their game. GOGOKID has also provided on Fresh Desk several really cute printable reward systems. So they're right there. They're free to use. Easy peasy. All you need is a printer. If you don't, you can just download them to a thumb drive, take them to Office Max, and have them printed off. I also have some videos on my YouTube channel about reward systems for older students. You might not want to use a banana if your student is older than 7. Especially those older boy students can be a bit of a challenge to find a reward system that they enjoy and will participate in. And I'll also link in the comment some of the reward system videos that I have already made. Okay, so those are the 6 items for your classroom usage and extension. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell so that you will be notified when the next 3 videos in this series come out. Thanks for tuning in and happy teaching.